My very first job was impersonating Hannah Montana.
Wait, can we hear a little bit of that?
You get the best of both worlds. Chill it out, take it slow. Then you rock out the show.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl, and we have something special for you today. We are hanging out with country music singer and songwriter Lainey Wilson, my friend. Lainey, it's so good to see you again.
Girl, I feel like we're seeing each other everywhere, and I love it. I can get used to this.
And you know why I love it so much? It's because this is so deserved for you. I feel like you're getting the acclaim because people are loving your music. They're seeing you on tour. I mean, you're performing everywhere. How has this month been for you? I feel like it's been wild.
It's been a whirlwind. I'm getting about 3 hours of sleep a night, but it's like we've been working hard to work even harder, and I'm okay with it. It's an adjustment. Somebody explained it to me best a few years ago. They said, it's gonna feel like you're idling along behind a boat. Like you're about to stand up and start skiing. And he said, and all of a sudden it's going to pull you up and you better hold on. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm just behind the boat, hanging on for dear life.
Okay, so Lainey, today we are playing our game called 15 First. And I feel like we know you so well. So I think some of these might give us a little more insight into some different stories and different things. So the way this works is I'm going to list 15 different scenarios and you tell me about the first time you experienced them. So the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Got it. Yes.
Question 1. When was the first time, Lainey, you realized you could sing?
Okay, I was in the back of my grandma's car. I was 4, maybe 5 years old, and she would pick me up from my parents' house and take me south of town to her house. And I remember sitting in the back seat singing, "How much is that little doggy in the window?" I remember her literally getting to her house later that day and her picking up the phone and calling the landline at my house and telling my mama, she said, "I just need to tell you this before I forget, but I think Lainey can sing." And I remember hearing her say that, and I was like, can I sing? I can sing. Mama thinks I can sing.
And do you think that as a child that honestly was in your subconscious of oh wait, I can sing? This is going to be it for me.
My grandma could carry a tune in a bucket because she sang in church a little bit. So I think that's why I trusted her. Even at 4 or 5 years old, I was like, if Mama Kay said I can sing, I can sing.
She knows. Question 2, what about the first time a person told you they loved your music?
It was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Of course, family has always, but they're partial, so they don't really
count. Right.
I was in Pecanland Mall in Monroe, Louisiana. I'm talking about was not dressed to impress. I was just rolling up in there, had my hair up on my head, pretty much wearing my pajamas. I was going to the Great American Cookie Store because I love me those chocolate chip cookies.
Those, and at the mall, it just hit different at the mall. It was so good.
Girl. And so I was like, don't nobody know me up in here, whatever. And I remember standing in the cookie line and this little girl, she turned around and looked at me and she was she told her friend, I heard her, she said, "I think that's Lainey Wilson." And the other girl looked back and she said, "There's no way." Because of the way I looked. And then I think they ended up, I kind of looked at them yeah, it is. And then they ended up coming out and telling me that they love my music. And I'm like, of course, the first time I ever halfway get recognized, I look like this, but hey.
Yeah, with a cookie in the mall. Okay, question 3, Lainey. What was your very first job?
My very first job was impersonating Hannah Montana.
What?
Girl, I did that for 5 years. I did it all the way through 8th grade through 12th.
Wait, can we hear a little bit of that?
I had a portable sound system. I learned all 15 karaoke tracks. I had the wig and all of it. You get the best of both worlds. Chill it out, take it slow. Then you rock out the show.
Lainey, I think you should do a cover of that in your set. I'm not joking. Now that is so funny. So did you go to birthday parties or where were you performing this?
Birthday parties, fairs, festivals, St. Jude. I did Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas. I mean, I was 16 years old, just tearing up the road. Lainey Wilson would open the show. A lot of the times I'd be like, can Lainey open for Hannah?
So Lainey would open and then Hannah would take the stage.
Well, there's times where I'd be like, can Lainey open the show? And they'd be like, who's that? And I'm like, the person you hired to do this party.
Literally me. Okay, question 4. What was your very first celeb crush?
Ashton Kutcher, and it still is. I think it's his personality. I'm a big personality person. I'm you don't have to be the hottest dude in the world for me to be there's something about you. And I think that's what it is. I just Ashton Kutcher. I got little hearts in my eyes.
Still. I love it. Okay, what about your very first concert? Question 5.
My very first concert was Tim McGraw Down on the Farm tour. I was about 5 years old, I remember my mama pushing me and my sister in a double stroller. So Tim McGraw grew up like right down the road from me.
I did not realize he was from Louisiana.
Yep. So I always kind of looked at him like, oh my gosh, if this guy from here did it, like maybe I could do it too.
I bet those hometown shows for Tim were insane too.
Insane. And then he had these things later on, like a few years later, called Swamp Stock, where he'd bring all of his friends home. I mean, he'd bring Martina McBride, of course, Faith, and Chris Cagle, the Warren brothers, you name it. It was like the highlight of the entire year for that area.
Okay, so Lainey, let's transition over to a little more personal. Question 6. When was the very first time you fell in love?
The very first time I fell in love was 13 years old. That's young, like saying it out loud. It's like,
do you feel like you were fully in love, or you feel like it was like in love for what you knew?
I think I was infatuated. He could do no wrong. And then when I realized he could do wrong, I was like, okay, maybe I wasn't in love.
Which leads me to my next question. Question 7. When was the first time you had your heart broken?
Probably about 15.
Was it the same guy?
It was the same guy.
Way.
It was like that first heartbreak. It truly feels like your heart is like in like physical pain, and you can't explain. It's hard. Like, and everybody was like, you're 14, you're 15 years old. Like, you weren't really in love and all this whatever, but it's still just, it like cuts deep.
Yeah. I mean, even now looking back, did you ever speak to him again after that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, you're from such a small town, you can't help but like see him everywhere.
I mean, has he reached out or anything since?
No, honestly, now he's married to one of my dear friends, and they've got a family together. It's incredible. Small town, girl.
That small town life. I love it. So Lainey, question 8. Tell me about the time you got your first real artist paycheck.
Okay, so it wasn't an actual paycheck, but I remember it was a $20 bill. I was 9 years old, my hometown Baskin. There's this guy named Jerry Cupid who had been in Nashville for a while. He had some success in the 90s, and he was opening a convenience store in Baskin. And his grand opening, they were going to have some food, and everybody's drinking ices and this and that. And I remember him stopping by the house and asking if I wanted to come up there and just sing the songs that I had been writing a cappella at 9 years old. So I remember like standing there in the little foyer area, everybody's like eating on their barbecue and stuff. And I was singing, and when I left there, he handed me a $20 bill, and that was my first time I ever got paid to do anything like that. And then my daddy, he actually still has the $20 bill.
I mean, were you so proud leaving that event?
Oh yeah. I was like, I got an icy, I got barbecue, and I got a $20 bill, and I got to sing my songs.
Large. It's so funny to think that you were already writing songs at that age too. Like when you go back and read them, like are they good? Like, do you like them still? Like, did any of those pieces make it into your music now?
They have not. But it's so weird. Like, I remember, like, I don't even have the songs written down. For the longest time, I didn't write my music down because I felt like if I didn't remember it, then that means it wasn't good enough. Now I've learned my lesson, and I'm like, the older you get, you got to start writing stuff down. But I mean, they were bops back in the day. The first song I wrote was kind of like, it was like a Britney Spears type vibe to it. It was called Lucky Me.
Okay, question number 9. What about the first rider you ever made?
The first rider I ever made, I actually just changed my rider because I don't need a lot to get by, and I'm not used to asking for a lot. So my first rider literally had bottles of water, a bottle of whiskey, and towels.
Just the essentials for a show.
And now, like, you know, I've added a few things. Like, we'll get a cheese tray, we'll get some beef jerky, some Cliff Bars. You know, we stepping it up.
And do you still have the bottle of whiskey? Is that still on there?
Oh yeah, it's always gonna be on there.
What about question 10? The first time you splurged on a big purchase for yourself?
I have not done that yet, and you're not gonna believe that.
What? Lainey.
I have not done it yet. I'll be honest, like last year around this time, I didn't have any money. We were just getting by.
How crazy how things can change in a year.
I haven't done it. I hadn't like pulled the trigger. I feel like here lately I've been so busy, like I slept in my bed 20 nights last year. This year it's going to be even less. Even if I did make like a big purchase, I don't even know if I would have time to enjoy it right now. So the biggest purchase that I have done so far is I helped rent the little jump house for my nephew's birthday party, and they had like a jump house for 4 or 5 days. So I was like, that's my big purchase of the year.
You're like, done. That's so interesting though, Lainey. Like, do you think it is because like you've been working for this dream for so long that you're like want to hang on to that?
I'm not used to having the mindset of like what big purchase can I can I get for myself or whatever. I will say, I guess this is technically a big purchase. In a week and a half, we're going to finally be on a tour bus for the first time.
And you guys got the full thing?
Yes.
The big bus.
Clearly we didn't buy the bus, but we're renting it. And that is a huge step just for me, but also my band and my tour manager, my sound guy. Like, they deserve it so much, and it's gonna make life a lot easier. So that I'm splurging. We splurging.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. Okay, Lainey, what about the first time, question 11, you slid into a celeb's DMs?
It was probably like 2007, 2008, when like Facebook was really starting to kind of do its thing. I definitely remember thinking like, oh, they're gonna respond to me. They're gonna, just that naive, like, they're gonna see this message and they're gonna respond to me and they're gonna want to help me.
Do you remember who you messaged?
I'm sure I messaged people like Miranda Lambert. I'm sure I probably messaged Jason Aldean. And it's so funny to think they're my friends now.
Right? You need it one day you need to show them. We need to do like a side-by-side swipe Instagram carousel of you two together and then swipe to the message. We gotta find those.
I remember reaching out to songwriters and being like, I want to write a song with you. And like, I didn't have anything to my name. And people were like, what in the world?
So funny. Okay, well, speaking of celebs, question 12, what about the first time you met one of your heroes?
I will say the first time I got to meet Jenny Seeley was at the Opry, and the first time I went to the Opry at 9 years old, we saw Bill Anderson, Crystal Gale, Phil Vassar, Jenny Seeley, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, I got to be up there one day. I can do it. And so this was probably like my third or fourth time playing the Opry, but Jenny, she stopped by my room. She gave me like a little handkerchief scarf with her name on it, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And then she said, I just want you to remember something. She said, here's some words of wisdom. She said, just remember, when you get out there, when you step out there on that stage, it ain't about you. And I was like, wow, that might be some of the best advice I've been given along the way, because she's right. It ain't about me. It ain't about saying, hey, look at me, look what I can do. It's about making people feel something and making people feel like we're all in this together. It's easy to get caught up in your own world. It's easy to get out there and just try to get it done. But I'm trying to soak it in as much as I possibly can and be reminded of what Jeannie Seeley said.
Okay, what about the first time, question 13, you heard your song on the radio?
I was in Bakersfield, California. We were on radio tour in 2019, and we were headed to the next station, and I remember them playing my song Dirty Looks, and I about fell out the chair. I was like,
do you have it recorded? Did you record the moment?
Oh yeah, it's on social media somewhere. I was crying and acting a fool, and I just remember being like, this is that feeling that they talk about. This is that, like, I wanted to bottle it up.
What about the first time you won your first award?
I got a lot of participation awards, I'll tell you that. I played softball, basketball. I got coach's award for track one year. That means you suck, but you hustled.
And we like you.
Yeah. So I got awards like that, like in grade school.
What about your first big music award? Yeah.
My first music award was probably when I was 16 years old, and I won the Honky Tonk Talent Search in Northeast Louisiana. And I won Arklama's Idol when I was 17. I got to try out for American Idol, didn't make it. But man, I thought those titles, I was like, that's right. Honky Tonk Talent Search right here. Arklama's Idol, that's me. But it kind of gave me that extra like pep in my step to, to really get after this thing.
It's interesting too, because the same way you felt about Tim McGraw, I'm sure so many people feel that about you representing Louisiana. Do you get that a lot from your fans?
Here lately I have. It's pretty cool to think that like maybe I could be something for somebody like he was for me. I just remember thinking, he grew up right down the road from me. Like I know a lot of his family, and
that's wild.
And he did the dang thing. So
yeah.
If I could be that for somebody, I've done my job.
Okay, Lainey, last question for you. Question 15. And we've kind of touched on this a little bit. When was your very first time you had the I made it moment?
Okay, so I would have said, if you would have asked me like 3 days ago, I would have said, I don't really know if I would have had that moment yet, because I always feel like I'm appreciative, and I'm just like, okay, what's next? In my mind, I don't think I'll ever feel like I made it, but I was laughing, and I told my manager the other day, we were at the Billboard Awards, and I had just met Meg Thee Stallion. I was like, first of all, this is cool. And then I could not find a bathroom anywhere. So I hollered at Miranda Lambert, and I was like, I got to use your bathroom right now. And we go in there, and like I use the bathroom, and I come out, and I said, that might be the moment right there where I felt like I had made it.
Miranda Lambert let you use her bathroom.
I was like, That's pretty cool. And she's one of my dear friends, but just like thinking if you would have told me 10, 15 years ago that I'd be like,
that would be happening.
Can I use your bathroom? Yeah.
Wait, I love that. I love that. Also, you know what we need is a Lainey and Meg Thee Stallion collab. I feel like that would be cool.
Girl, I'll be up
there. Could you imagine?
Pop, lock, and dropping it.
And speaking of that, you're also about to go on tour, about to pop, lock, and drop it on stage. How are you preparing? How are you preparing for this next leg of tour?
Oh my gosh, I don't really know if you can fully prepare. We're so excited. I mean, we're going out with John Party. We're doing a bunch of Morgan Wallen dates. We're going out with Luke Combs. It's a ride. It is a ride, but we're excited. I will say now that we're getting this bus, I think we're going to be able to get a little more rest and be able to lay down after shows and feel good for the next one. So we're going to have a lot of energy.
Yeah, we love it. I feel like that's got to be tough. It's like, when do I party and when do I go to sleep?
I don't know how some of these dudes do it.
Especially with that crew. I feel like, especially John Party, I feel like he's wild.
He is a party. I know. I've already been trying to prepare my liver for it. There ain't no way. I'm going to have to just put sweet tea in my cup, make it look like whiskey or something.
Yeah, there you go. Cheated a little bit. Well, Lainey, we're so excited for you. As always, thank you so much for your time. It's so great catching up with you and so good to hear these stories. We're so excited for you. We cannot wait to see you on the road.
Thank you, sisters. Always good to see you, and I appreciate y'all.
Thanks for checking out our 15 First with Lainey Wilson. Make sure you stream all of her music on iHeartRadio, and don't forget you can catch her on tour this summer, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.